Aw, shucks. Shout out to Brienne Johnson. First one here. It is going down. We got some new information. We got some release date. Officially August 21st. It's going down, right? All right, we're going to break down the pictures. I'm going to talk about some of the leaks. This live stream was supposed to happen on Monday, but I kind of felt something in the air. So, here we are. Is the mic good? Let me check. Mic good. Is the audio good? Can y'all see me? Yeah, y'all can see me. Yeah, you're not supposed to yet, though. We're going to give everybody a couple minutes to get up in here. As you can see, this is the first. Well, no, this is the second official image of Rhaenyra. But this is the first one that is, like, this amazing. We got a lot to break down. All right. I'm gonna have to do this on the go, right? All right, not on the go, but like on the fly. Oh, yeah. What's up, everybody? House of the Dragon has just officially released the release date for the very first season. August 21st, 2022. I was wrong. I'm an idiot. I put clues together. I thought July 22nd sounded good, but I could be right about that trailer. The trailer is right around the corner because, like, I just ran up the stairs. Hang on a second. Let me catch my breath. Sorry if you're listening to this in headphones. Please go ahead and turn it down to be a headphone warning. I'm going to get loud as hell at various times during this stream. Who knows how long it'll be. The pictures keep coming out. I just saw the latest one is young Rhaenyra and Alicent. They're embracing each other. It's when King Viserys makes them do so publicly, I think. Jeez, so much to discuss. But before we get into any of that, please do me a massive favor and slap a like on this video. The like goal is going to be 42. All right, let's go ahead and discuss this one first because why not? We have Damon motherfucking Targaryen in the throne room. And if you were unaware or didn't know, Damon goes and sees, or Rhaenyra walks up to Damon in the House of the Dragon teaser. It's one of the last images from the teaser. Everybody was wondering who it was, and it was a younger version of Damon. This is when Damon arrives from the Stepstones. This is older Matt Smith. The main reason being is because his hair is much shorter. And if you've been paying attention to the leaks like my damn self, it's not a different actor playing a younger version of Matt Smith. It is himself playing the younger version, and he will just have longer hair. It's interesting because you can kind of they just tease us a little bit with Dark Sister. We just see the end of the blade, or I guess, yeah, just the hilt. A little bit of that, but we've seen more like I guess clear images, more complete images of Dark Sister already though through the leaks. If you want to know more about those, check the link down below in the description. But also I will say Daemon Targaryen, right? Prince Daemon, the king's brother, is known as the Rogue Prince, not just because he doesn't do what everyone else does and he's a rogue, right? No, it's because in the traditional sense, even though Viserys never names Prince Daemon his heir, traditional Targaryen princes usually have more of a role in court. Daemon, once given these roles in court, gets bored very easily, right? He takes a part of the small council and he's like, I'm not good at that. This is boring. Then he reforms the gold cloaks. He gives them their uniforms. He gives them their iconic gold cloaks. Before he takes over them, they're kind of like a ragtag group of soldiers, right? That are in charge with watching the city and protecting the streets. When Daemon gets his hands in there, he gives them a uniform. He makes them much more formidable, right? He is their commander, and during his time as being a part of the Gold Cloaks, right? He's known as the Prince of the City. This is part of that rogue appeal that he has. He doesn't do what traditional Targaryen princes does. He's a rogue, right? So he, as being known as the Prince of the City, is someone who... Here, let me put this that way so y'all can see me. Hang on. All right, yeah. He's kind of someone who... Where's a good spot for this? Right there. Because he's... got his hands in the City Watch, he is much more not only hands-on, but also he gets into fights, right? So he's actually killed a few people in duels. That is not something that the small folk consider princely. So this is how he got the name the Rogue Prince. And his attire, Ryan Condal, Miguel Sapochnik, anybody who's responsible for dressing these characters knows that. They know that, right? You're supposed to, a rogue prince, a black prince, you're supposed to dress accordingly. Daemon looks amazing. So let's go ahead and move on to the next image. I'm obviously going to come back to all of these. But the next one that I wanted to talk about is Alicent. We'll play to the greens. I'm going to discuss that Rhaenyra one next, but I kind of already mentioned that. So Alicent, played by Olivia Cook. The older version is played by Olivia Cook. This is pretty amazing. I kind of expected Alicent to have a much, we'll say, younger appearance than she should, right? Alicent is older than Rhaenyra, but after they both have several children, it's noted that Alicent keeps her small figure and also remains looking somewhat younger. Right? She probably practices nightly routines to take care, right? But because of this time period, everybody's, I don't even know what the fuck I was getting at. Alicent looks amazing in this picture. I'm just excited. I kind of feel like there's going to be a trailer while yes, there is. There's Sir Kristen Cole. Cool. So we have even more to talk about. So just as a bit of a backdrop for a character, she spent time with the old king, Jaehaerys, the person who was ruling before King Viserys. And we have an image of him as well. I'm going to be discussing in a second. But she spent so much time with him that King Jaehaerys, yes, he was probably senile towards the end, but he actually thought Alicent was his long-lost daughter Sarah, who had ran across the narrow sea to start a whorehouse, right? Alicent would read to him. She would spend time with him. According to Mushroom, who is very much like the Suetonius Roman. So Suetonius is like a Roman scholar type dude, right? And his version of accounts of Roman history and the things that went on at court when he was alive are much more salacious than all the other philosophers and historians of that era, right? So George knows a lot about Rome, and he was like, who can I make the Suetonius version of my story, right? And that's when he came up with Mushroom. So according to Mushroom, Alicent used to jerk off the old king. She would do stuff to whatever, right? That's obviously, like I said, the more salacious version. Sometimes his version is the more fun one. Hang on, I gotta retweet this. Kristen Cole, bro. See, like what people don't no, people do realize that. Here, I'm gonna be sharing that here. Him and Rhaenyra had a thing. Man, I'm all over the place. Okay, so Alicent spent time with the old king, would read him stories. It's also rumored. So King Viserys, Rhaenyra's father, right? His first wife, Emma Arryn, they have several kids, but Rhaenyra is the only one who grows up, right? So eventually she dies, and then King Viserys marries again. But before he marries Alicent, there's rumors that Alicent was fucking around with him. They were already hooking up before Emma Arryn died. Those were rumors. Those could be true. The main reason being is because Viserys, who's known to be an amiable person, right? King Viserys the First, right? Not Daenerys' brother. He's known to be amiable, but in marrying Alicent, he went against some of his advisors. So that kind of leads credence. Like, well, if he's already had a taste of the whole pie, why aren't you going to order another slice? All right. The next person that I want to talk about, because we have quite a bit of images, and don't get it twisted. I will still be doing a breakdown of all of these images in video format. The next person we are going to talk about is obviously Rhaenyra, and then we have some character posters to talk about as well. This is awesome. This is like what we've all been waiting for. All right, Ray, the realm's delight. All right, so I'll start at the bottom. So, like, that clasp right there, y'all can't see my mouse, but that looks like it could. I saw this before and I didn't get to zoom in on it. Give me a second. But that looks like it's a version of her mother's house, like House Aaron. It looks like it could be twisted in with the dragon. But I'm probably wrong, and I'm probably just like, no. Like, when the war actually starts. Oh, wait. No, yeah, I think I'm wrong. That just looks like... That looks like it's part of a Targaryen brooch. Let me see if I can't share this screen with you guys. Yeah, it's not going to let me share that. Yeah. Didn't think so. But yeah, so that's not what I thought it was. But her actual like outfit in general is like I love. It's looks a lot colder than the first set. We'll say that because she's wearing a fur-lined cloak here, but she's wearing her traditional red and black. Right? She's very much the princess party. Right? So Rhaenyra grows up her entire life thinking she's next in line for the Iron Throne, right? There's lords in the Seven Kingdoms who don't even like bring it into question the fact that she's a woman, right? They just have known that Rhaenyra is next in line for the Iron Throne, One of those lords in particular is Cregan, the old wolf, old man of the north, right? The main reason why I just thought of him is because she's wearing like that fur-trimmed cloak. But this is a promotional image. We don't know if this is from a particular scene. The scene where Daemon, the image that I just discussed with Daemon, and then the one with Alicent, those look like they're from actual scenes. This could be promotional footage. Obviously, she's on Dragonstone. This could be when she finds out that Aegon has been crowned and she's waiting to be crowned, right? So at the end of House of the Dragon Season 1, spoilers. This whole thing has been spoilers. I don't even know how many people are watching right now. I don't know whether I should tell you to, click away or just skip. You can't really skip ahead because it's live, but like, the very end of House of the Dragon Season 1 will be two opposing councils. One of them will be Aegon 2, Rhaenyra's younger... Damn it! That, right. Rhaenyra's younger brother, Aegon 2, right? So he gets crowned, and then Rhaenyra, once she finds out about this, Daemon crowns her as well. So Kristen Cole crowns Aegon 2, and Daemon crowns Rhaenyra. Right, so how this kind of happens is Viserys, because he's amiable, but more so because he took on the reigns of the Seven Kingdoms from Jaehaerys, who like ruled for 50 years, right? Because of that, and because he's just an amiable dude, he's literally the exact opposite of Daemon. Daemon likes to hunt, hawk, fish, fuck. Viserys likes to drink, party. He also likes to fuck as well, but I'm just saying, like, So, Viserys makes it so that my brain is getting all over the place. I'm trying to explain House of the Dragon. Most of you all know that, and I really should just be talking about their costumes, right? So, let's restart. She's wearing her traditional black and red, right? So, she is known as the Princess Party because there is a moment, right? Once Alicent and Viserys start having kids, sons, male heirs, Aegon 2, right? Aemon One Eye, and then a few others that probably won't be on the show because there's quite a few silver-haired individuals on this series. But once, like, Viserys has male heirs and doesn't rebuke Rhaenyra, that's when the hatred becomes real, right? So there's an image coming up that I'm going to be discussing here where Viserys isn't such an idiot, and he realizes that there is hostility between the queen and the princess, right? The princess of Dragonstone, which is really important because anyone who has that of Dragonstone title is the next in line for the Iron Throne, right? And because there is hatred in between them, in that image, it looks like that's the image where Viserys makes them declare their love for each other publicly, right? So that's one of the moments. But there is a tourney in which Rhaenyra wears a red and a black gown, the traditional House Targaryen colors, and then Alicent, the queen, wears colors of House Hightower. So it's from that point forward known as the Greens versus the Blacks, or the Queen versus the Princess Party, right? All right, so let me check the chat real quick here. We got 50 people watching. That's fucking awesome. Let's see. Shout out to Brian Johnson, Shannon T, Will Kazada, Generational, D-Boy, Basket Case, Markel Parker, Sir Raygon, D-Boy. Already said that. Winter Ashara, Shelly Howard, Chelsea Valeria, Mitchell Dickerson, Chef RLE. Actually, fuck Chef RLE. This dude talking shit in the chat. Joseph Boros, Uncle Dave Zilla, George Hudo, Julio Moreno, Philly D, Mark of the Dragon, Luckman Daniels, Ben Brown, Kramer Crane, Night King. What are you doing here? Oh yeah, and Dennis Sorensen. What the fuck is up? Oh shit, we got a super chat from Brian Johnson. Fuck yeah. Devil Horns. Hell yeah. Super chat. Thank you for that. That's awesome. That's crazy. All right, so I'm going to take some questions, but let's discuss some more of these images first, right? Because I've only gotten through 3 of them, and there's quite a few. So the next one that I want to discuss, of course, is Viserys. Because, this is like the first image we've gotten of him, aside from him kind of in costume, but mostly out of costume from the leaked images. All right, this is badass. He is wearing the cat's paw dagger and the show's version of the Jade Pearl signet ring that he gives to Jaehaerys and Jaehaera, the twin daughters of Aegon II. It's the last thing he does before he dies. And yes, it's supposed to be a Jade Pearl ring and not the Targaryen signet ring, but I think, man, you know what? I'm running too much on that theory. Maybe that doesn't actually happen. But check this out. He's also got a badass wig. Like, this might be the best Targaryen wig I think we've ever seen. Ever. It, like, fits perfectly with his hair, with his head. It looks awesome. Look at that shit. It's amazing. All right, so he's rocking his House Targaryen sigil, the cat's paw dagger, which, for those who are unaware, the cat's paw dagger on this show has hella significance. The main reason being because, hang on, let me see if I can hit. No, that's what center looks like. Okay. Trying to get most of the image in the damn picture. All right. So basically, from the teaser, we have seen that the cat's paw dagger does make another appearance, right? We've seen Alicent running with the cat's paw dagger, going to go and stab or appear to, like, stab down at something, right? So she's making a declaration. She's like, I've had enough, right? So when you piece that together with the leaked images that we've seen of Aegon 2 and then also Aemon One Eye claiming Vhagar, we can imagine that the scene of why she would be that upset is going to happen, right? So filling in the blanks here, basically, Laena, Corlys Velaryon's daughter, at the time is married to Daemon, right? Laena is married to Daemon. This is after the War for the Stepstones. Daemon's first wife, Rhea Royce, has already died. Daemon's already had a baby with his concubine, Mysaria, and Daemon's baby dies at sea when King Viserys finds out about this and forces Daemon to send Mysaria away because obviously Targaryen princes can't have bastard children, right? Doesn't look good, right? So this is after all of that, right? So they're all at Driftmark. I can't remember if it's Driftmark or High Tide. But anyway, they go for Laena's funeral and... Okay, my son is asleep. Sorry, I just got distracted. So, they go to pay the respects for Laena's funeral. And before that, Viserys mentions to Aemon, you don't have a dragon yet. Maybe once we get back, Dragonstone, you can grab one out of the hatchery. And he kind of teases him a little bit, right? So when everybody goes to sleep, Aemon decides to sneak out and go and steal Vhagar. Vhagar is the biggest dragon at the time. Vhagar was around during the conquering of Westeros. When Aegon first came over with his 2 sister wives and their 3 dragons, Vhagar was around. And dragons technically don't die. They can live for centuries after their riders. And they don't get smaller and decrepit like humans do. They get bigger. So Vhagar is the biggest, most badass dragon of ever, right? So of course, Aemon, who's just been teased by his father, wants to ride the biggest, baddest dragon ever. So of course, he goes and mounts Vhagar. Vhagar lets out a roar, and they take off. But before that, because Lucerys is such a good boy, he's sneaking out to go see his dragon as well. And that's when he catches Aemon trying to mount Vhagar. Aemon tries to make his way to Vhagar, and Luke is like, nah, bro. And then he pushes Luke in a pile of dragon shit. And then Aemon obviously successfully mounts Vhagar, flies him around a couple times, lands him. And then when he gets off of Vhagar and comes back down to the yard, guess what? Luke has his brothers. There's a scuffle, right? Aemon is bigger. He's able to get the upper hand. But then Luke draws his dagger and slashes Aemon in the eye. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Guess what? Aemon becomes Aemon One Eye. This dagger is going to be the dagger that's used. So maybe at some point, Viserys is going to give Lucerys that cat's paw dagger, right? It's going to be pretty interesting how they do that. All right, so the next image, and I don't think I actually have this one saved. Let me see. Nope, I don't. I've got to put... Oh, well, we could just talk about one of the posters real quick. So there were some teaser posters that were released as well. I believe the person that made them was Hero Mode, but I'm not sure. So they're obviously opposing greens versus the blacks. This is the black one. The green one looks very similar, just a green, golden, bronze egg, right? The dragon in the back looks green as well. This is pretty fucking awesome. High quality. Way, way better than that poster that George shared, or George's social media team shared, thinking that it was officially made by Game of Thrones, but that's not the case. All right, so let's do this. Let's see how many more pictures they've released. I see Sir Otto Hightower there. Oh shit, we got one of my Zarya too. They're gonna release a trailer. It's coming. It's coming, baby. All right, so this is kind of one that I was teasing. So let's do this. All right, so yeah, because that looks better. All right, so as you can tell, the younger version of Rhaenyra and the younger version of Alicent are going to sort of set the ground for this story work, right? So I kind of just mentioned Viserys does not like the fact that his wife and his daughter, who is his heir, are beefing, right? So he kind of gets fed up. This is before Aemon loses his eye, right? So he gets fed up with all the rumors being started. He wants them to publicly declare their affections for each other. The background is heavily blurred in this image, but it looks like there's maybe a torch on a wall sconce behind them. So that makes me think they're at court, which makes me think that this is where they are forced to show affection. Look at the contempt in Alicent's face, right? It's Emily Carey is doing an awesome job. That's the actress who's playing the younger version of Alicent. She's doing an amazing job of sort of just like letting you know with facial expressions alone, I don't like this bitch. I really don't like her. My sons are the heirs. This bitch is the spare. But anyway, and then also Millie Alcock is doing a really good job as well, facial acting here, because you see the smugness in her face, right? It's kind of like, yeah, bitch, you might be my dad's wife, but that's all you are. You're just a queen by title alone. I am the realm's delight. I am Rhaenyra, princess of Genovia, of Dragonstone, right? These images successfully have got me hype for House of the Dragon. Now, the next one that I wanted to show is of Queen Rhaenys, the queen who never was, and Corlys motherfucking sea snake Velaryon. All right, so this is interesting, right? So we've got very much. Let me make this a little bit more presentable. You can see the whole image. So these two right here are kind of fucked over multiple times in this story. Once before the story even starts, twice during the story, and then when Rhaenyra takes King's Landing, she ultimately puts Corlys in chains. Because she becomes crazy. She starts to turn into Cersei. This show is going to be so good. So right here in this image, we have Queen Rhaenys, Rhaenys Velaryon. Her father was Balon, who at one point was the heir to the Iron Throne from King Jaehaerys himself. But then her father Balon died, and King Jaehaerys did not choose Rhaenys to succeed, right? He went with the male heir. But at the time, Rhaenys was pregnant with Laena. She thought it was a boy. She's like, look, I may not be able to rule the Iron Throne, but my son can. Let me rule in his stead. Her son ended up turning out to be a boy, Laena, right? And then she eventually did have Laena. And then when the question of succession is brought up again, a few years later, when another heir dies, right? Laena was very much alive at that point. He's a 7-year-old boy, right? He's got the blood of the dragon. He's got typical Targaryen good looks, right? He's going to ride a dragon, right? But then they're skipped over again. Again, they're skipped over. And that's when Viserys is chosen. So these people have been screwed. And then ultimately, the way Rhaenys dies with the Red Queen is, it's going to be so amazing to watch. That is one of the most wickedest battles ever. But I won't touch too much on those spoilers. I will say, technically, and this pissed a lot of people off, Rhaenys was supposed to have Baratheon black hair. Her hair was supposed to be black because that's how it's described as in the books, but the show did not want to do that, probably because she would not look Targaryen. And for the average show watcher, it would be hard to distinguish her as a Targaryen. So she's the cousin of Viserys and Daemon. Technically, they're all cousins, but Corlys, just as a bit of a brief back history of him, he first started sailing ships in House Velaryon at age 10, right? So in one of his many voyages, he's got several different ships, but ultimately the one that he names the Sea Snake, he goes very, very far to the other end of the earth, to the far end of Essos, and he brings back silks and tapestries and spices and all types of stuff that are extremely common over there, but extremely rare in Westeros. And when he does this, he literally doubles the wealth of House Velaryon. Like, literally, he doubles it. And at this time, they are the richest motherfuckers in the game to play the game. Sorry, I'm trying to get this image to be small. Yeah, there we go. But it doesn't matter because all of that wealth is then later destroyed and squandered during the battles that ensue during the Dance of the Dragons, or during this show, during House of the Dragon. But one of the other images that was recently released was of Criston Cole. Now, this dude right here is going to be a fan favorite. Like, him and Daemon are probably going to be fan favorites, right? So Criston Cole is a knightly fellow, right? He wants to, he's known as a badass, right? He's able to destroy in physical combat melees, right? So not actually kill them, but he's able to take Dark Sister out of Daemon's hand. He's able to unmount and unhorse several of the top knights in the realm. And eventually he has a thing for Rhaenyra. He becomes Rhaenyra's protector, right? So according to Mushroom's version of the story, according to Septon Bath, whatever, right? So at some point, Rhaenyra decides she wants to bed Criston Cole, right? And so she wants to learn how to please a man, right? So according to the rumors, Prince Daemon would teach her that. Like, apparently he took her to a brothel. Criston Cole, being her protector, probably followed them there, and he discovers them doing stuff in the brothel. But he doesn't realize that Rhaenyra is being manipulated by Daemon, and that also she's doing this out of love for him, right? So it's kind of complicated, and we don't even know if that's the version of the story that they're going to be telling on this show. But it's kind of interesting to see, like, something happens between them, because for a while he is the queen's favorite. He's like, before, the strong boy comes in and starts plowing, like, he is Rhaenyra's, like, love interest. He's probably going to be, like, who people thought Jaime was when they first saw him in Game of Thrones season 1. Like, you first see Jaime and you're like, oh, that's a good dude. He's got golden armor. He can't be an asshole. And then you realize as soon as he opens his mouth, oh no, Criston Cole is kind of like that, right? Then ultimately, over time, and after things that happen to him, he becomes not so knightly, not so, he's known as the Kingmaker, right? So ultimately, you could say that him crowning Aegon II is out of hate for Rhaenyra and Daemon for what happened, right? On the Street of Silk, right? So you got to realize, too, is that Daemon, because he's known as the Prince of the City, it could have either be that Criston Cole found him at the brothel, or Kristen Cole found them in bed, like Rhaenyra was manipulated by Daemon to sleep with him, so that way she would not be, like Daemon could probably tell her some shit like, look, if you really want to win Kristen Cole over, you better know how to please a man, because if you don't, he's gonna find some other woman to, get his shit on with, right? That's probably what Daemon says to her, and she's like, oh, well, you should teach me, right? And they're discovered a bed, and this is when Daemon is exiled from King's Landing for a while. Eventually, he's allowed to come back after he has children, right? Viserys goes back and forth a lot of times, but ultimately, something goes down with Kristen Cole, Rhaenyra, and Daemon. It's going to be interesting to see. So the next image that we have... Oh, yeah, by the way, this live stream has been going on for 36 minutes. August 21st, 2022, House of the Dragon is coming for you. It's the release date. Tis official. All right, and then we have my Zarya, and I think this will be the last promo image that they released for the day. All right, so right here we have my Zarya, the White Worm. Now, I kind of already talked about her. She's played by Sonoya Mizuno. I don't really know her from anything other than this crazy movie where she plays like a dancer. She kind of, does she have an official role? I don't, that's besides the point. Anyway, Sonoya Mizuno is going to be playing Misery the White Worm. She's a concubine of Daemon. She becomes the mistress of Whisperers to Rhaenyra when Rhaenyra takes King's Landing. Like I said, early on, she has a child with Daemon. She's forced to cross the Narrow Sea and go over to the east, and in doing so, the ship that she's on is hit by a storm, and she loses the baby. Daemon never really forgives his brother for this. Him losing this child could arguably be some of his motivation for acting against the king in the little things that he does. It's like, kind of like as a way to get back to him, maybe by taking the virginity of his daughter, right? Who knows? This show will explore those ideas. But one thing is for sure, and that's that her enemies call her Misery, the White Worm. She is not the nicest person, right? So her and Daemon, when Daemon is known as the Prince of the City, it's so hard to make, like, what the hell? Okay, so when Daemon is known as the Prince of the City, part of his control and part of the reason why he maintains such a stronghold over the city is thanks to my Zarya. She's his mistress of Whisperers. So she could have some mystical abilities, yes, but more than likely she probably has a similar backstory to Varys. In that Varys had his manhood chopped off and thrown into the blue flames, right? Something mystical happened to Varys. This is what forced Varys into his lifestyle of collecting little kids, and then having them deliver him all of the secrets of Westeros, right? So something mystical probably happens with my Zarya, and this is what makes her so cruel and follow the path that she does, and what ultimately gives her the nickname of Misery the White Worm, right? So it'll be interesting to see, because there's not that much about her in Fire and Blood. Like, there kind of is, but not really. Like, another interesting character down that same vein of something that the show is going to have to sort of make up to make her more interesting, Alice Rivers, right? So when Daemon first takes Harrenhal, you don't really hear much of Alice Rivers. But then when Aemon takes Harrenhal, it's said that supposedly Alice Rivers used love potions to make Aemon One-Eye and Kristen Cole fall in love with her. And that eventually the two of them were, like, competing for her love or something, right? Ultimately, when Alice Rivers shows up on the back of Vhagar with Aemon One-Eye to go and fight Daemon, or the Battle Above the God's Eye, obviously Alice Rivers isn't planning on fighting, but she's just with him. She's pregnant with child, right? And she says, I'm carrying Aemon's son, the heir or whatever, right? A lot of people think that that's kind of crazy, nigh impossible, because she is supposed to be a bastard daughter of, like a bastard of House Strong, right? And Mushroom says she's older than Aemon, right? Or she's 40 or something like that. Like, she's supposed to be way older than how she actually looks. So it'll be that's like several seasons down the line, like season 3, season 4. I think that was the last image other than Sir Otto Hightower. Yes, here he is. And I didn't want to make this. There he is. Creepy son of a bitch. Rhys-Iphon, a.k.a. Crocodile, a.k.a. Lizard. Alright. Sir Otto Hightower is like a less flushed out, slightly weaker version of Tywin Lannister. Right? So obviously he's wearing the Hand of the King pin. He is very much the Hand of the King at the start of this show. He's the Hand of the King for Viserys. He becomes temporarily the Hand of the King for his grandson. He's ultimately removed because he's fighting a war of ravens. And Aegon's like, man, get the fuck out of here. And he makes Kristen Cole his hand, right? Sir Otto, for some reason, hates Daemon. That's one of the key cornerstones to knowing who this dude is as a character, and that's that he hates Daemon. There are rumors, obviously. The one that I like to believe myself is that obviously Daemon, who, he's not shy with the ladies, we'll say that. Daemon probably took this dude's daughter, Alicent. Daemon took Alicent's maidenhead, right? So, of course, if Daemon did that to your daughter, you'd be mad at him, you wouldn't like him, but that animosity probably comes from there. Like the animosity between Daemon and Sir Otto Hightower. They act against each other directly. There's probably going to be several scenes where they're insulting each other and no one really does anything about it because they're both in such high positions of power. It's like his daughter's married to the king and then Daemon's the king's brother. What are you going to do, right? So it should be interesting to see them bicker with each other. Ultimately, Sir Otto Hightower dies when Rhaenyra takes King's Landing. But the show could do something different with that. Maybe enhance it a little bit. Let's jump in the chat. I want to see what everybody in the chat's saying. And because I've been talking my ass off. All right. Oh shit, we got 96 people watching right now. That's fucking awesome. I haven't had this many people watching me since Game of Thrones was on. Oh, I didn't mean to share that screen. Y'all are looking at the what you call it? Whoops. But yeah, so what do y'all think? Let me ask this question for the chat. Who do you think has the best costume? Who do you think has the best costume? All right, so I'll run through them again. First one is Daemon. Daemon's costume is amazing, right? Let me let you look at it up close. Look at that. Look at that. Little rogue prince holding Dark Sister. Blacks and reds. It looks like he's got dragon scale enamel on the arms and slashed through his tunic. So how Daenerys, when she went to Dragonstone, her shoulder pads had that weird dragon scale. It kind of looked like sequins or some shit that made the outfit pop. It looks like Daemon's got that equipped into his outfit as well. Right? So that's my vote. I think Daemon has the coolest looking attire. Although, to be fair, King Viserys does have that cool-ass Targaryen sigil on his surcoat. Look at what I'm wearing today, too. Look at that. Look at that. Then the next one is Alicent. She looks alright. I think Rhaenyra looks better than her. I think the younger version of Alicent has a cooler costume, rather. But let me blow that up for y'all. I will say that Olivia Cook's performance in her rendition of Alicent is something I'm most excited to see. She's got the traditional green of House Hightower and gold of Aegon II. This could be that very night at Laena's funeral when her son Aemon loses his eye, and then afterwards Alicent goes to the king and she says, pluck out Lucerys's eye, okay? My son can't lose an eye, and then your grandson get away with it. And obviously Viserys is like, what, bitch, you crazy? I'm not doing that. And then nothing happens. But then the wedge in between the greens and the blacks is driven even further. All right, so the next one is Rhaenyra. Look at that. She man, I cannot wait to see Emma Darcy's version of Rhaenyra. The main reason being is because Emma Darcy comes from a background of play, like doing plays and being on stage. Sometimes, most of the time, that transfers really well to period pieces like House of the Dragon. Like, yes, it's a fantasy show, but ultimately it's supposed to be like a period piece, like what if dragons were real? Kind of, right? So the familial drama and the feudal society that they live in and all this stuff is very much inspired by real life history. So it's kind of, it's not just a fantasy show. It's so much more, right? But do you guys think Rhaenyra's costume looks the best? Or Daemon's? Or Alicent, the older version? Or Viserys? I think Viserys' tunic is way more badass than Daemon's tunic. He looking a little bit chunky there. Or do you think, I believe this is Corlys and, oh no, that was the character poster. The rest of them I didn't pull down, so I'll have to do the screen share. Sir Otto Hightower, do you think he looks the coolest? I'm going to check the chat after this. Or Corlys. This isn't really fair for Corlys and Rhaenys because they're like side. You can't really see their outfit. Corlys' side profile kind of looks like Kanye West a little bit. It's because the lighting is so dim, but that kind of looks like Kanye. That's fucking hilarious. Younger version, younger version of Rhaenyra and Alicent, right? Do you think they have the coolest costume? Which, to be completely fair, you can't even really see anything other than the top part. Or Criston Cole, right? I think his armor looks I think his armor looks the coolest from what we've seen so far. Got straps of leather in there, right? So this is white enamel is what the Kingsguard is supposed to look like. But that's like literally impossible to show on screen. It looks crazy if you try to make that look on screen. So this banded silver white inlay kind of thing is what they're going for the Kingsguard. And obviously he's got that silken white, famous white cloak, right? Or do you think, lastly, my Zarya has the coolest outfit? Which I'm sure there's quite a few people that are into that probably do think she does. Like I said, myself, I think Daemon has the coolest outfit. Yeah, there we go. So let me look and see what y'all think in the chat. I'll leave my boy Damon up there. Basket Case says, not gonna lie, her jewelry is fire. Prince of Dragonfly says, what's up, everyone? What's up, bro? Maddie Nat says, want to see some dragons? Hell yeah. I Like Hamburger and Pizza says, win the trailer. It's coming. I think it'll be April 5th because of George's Frog update. Lexi Lambert says Rhaenyra, 100%. Okay. Now Dunn says Cole's armor. Lexi says, and Damon. All right, I got you. I agree with you. We agree with it too. Luckman Daniel says Viserys and Daemon look so good. Hell yeah. Lady X Black says, sir, what's up, lady? Now Dunn says Alicent's drop is wavy. Maddie Nat says Criston Cole, right? Daemon grabbed my attention from Amna Khan. Hell yeah, I agree. Benjamin says Criston Cole is just perfect. Benjamin on a banjo. Justin Duval, what's up, brother? Aaron Smiley says the guard has nice attire and the white worm lady. So Criston Cole and my Zarya. All right. Alexander says Daemon and Criston Cole. Okay, but look, here's the thing. Who's the most powerful? Let me ask you that. Who is the most powerful character that we've seen? The answer is Daemon. It's Daemon. I'm just kidding. Lexi says, I love younger version of Rhaenyra. Hell yeah. Millie Alcock pulls that off really good. Tolka says Daemon. Another Alexander says Daemon as well. All right. So it looks like I'm right. It looks like Damon looks the coolest. How long? Oh, shit. Missed the super chat. We got a super chat from Ben Brown. He says, how big do you think Vhagar will be? All right, look. Let me dead these rumors right now. All right, so dragons in A Song of Ice and Fire. Okay, I'll just leave my boy Daemon floating back there underneath Jon Snow and Daenerys. That image back there is by VK Cole. Y'all can't really see. Hang on. This right here is from someone that I've met at Con of Thrones. I followed him on Twitter. VK Cole. Go check it out. That is a book version of Daenerys and Jon Snow. Pretty awesome. That's some of my favorite renditions of them. Damn, where's the nail at? Oh, we'll have to hang that up later. So yeah. What was... Oh yeah, so Ben Brown, how big do I think Vhagar would be? All right. If we have to base this on what we've already seen, which we kind of do because we don't really know, right? For the show, Daenerys' dragon Drogon in Season 8 is likely going to be the biggest any of these dragons are shown on screen, ever. In future installments, even if we see Balerion. It just makes the scene and the way to make the CGI and all that stuff, it takes too long, and it also looks ridiculous, right? So there's people who watch Marvel and they're like, bro, did you see how big that fucking Galactus fellow was at the end of Eternals when he clapped the egg in the hand or whatever? That looks stupid. It looks so fake. You can't do that. Anything that big looks fucking dumb. Right? So to answer your question, Vhagar will be the same size as Drogon in Game of Thrones Season 8. You can't get bigger than that. Vhagar is supposed to be the biggest dragon anyway, right? At this time period. So Vhagar will be Drogon Season 8, and all of the other dragons will be various sizes smaller than that, right? That's just what makes the most sense. I mean, I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think I'm right? Do y'all think it would look silly to have a dragon that big? Like, it doesn't seem feasible to me. The details are amazing. A little disappointed in Dark Sister, but that could change when I see it close up. Yeah, you gotta see the, here, let me do this. Check out this leaked image of Dark Sister. You can kind of see it better. Here's the thing. These swords have been used. So, like, if you want something that looks pristine and mythical and straight out of a fantasy book, go watch Lord of the Rings. These swords have been used to murder people. Quite brutally, I might add. Dark Sister is driven down through the eye socket of Aemon, and he's left in the water for like 2 years. So these swords have very much been used. They're practical. They look awesome. But also, it's like, there's no mystical powers about like yes, it's dragon steel. It was used. It was created during the reign of the Valyrian Freehold, and yes, there might be spells infused into it, but ultimately it's to kill people. All of that is so that it can kill people faster, right? So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, here's the leaked image of Dark Sister. I was running my damn mouth for all that shit, and I didn't need to. Hang on 1 second. That picture is quite a ways down. I'm gonna have to search for that. All right, this is a good one. So this is Dark Sister in Scabbard, right? So this is kind of, all right, so he's got his dirk right there, but this is Dark Sister. It's practical, right? Dark Sister, there's rumors that it could have been made for a female hand, right? So that's why it's more slender like that, but here's another image. Hopefully I can get a little bit clearer one. There we go. So you can see the designs on the hilt from this image. It looks like it could be gold reflective, right? So remember, this was taken from very far away. But there's another image of Dark Sister, right? It actually, given when you take into account its description from the books and then you add a layer of practicality on top of that, it kind of looks pretty decent, right? Like I said, these swords are used to murder people brutally. Like, yes, they have spells, and yes, they're dragon steel, whatever you want to call it, but ultimately that's to make them more lightweight, to make them shear through helms of regular steel, and be fast enough to make anyone who equips them way better, just for the fact that they're holding Valyrian steel. All right, so we'll get rid of that. Oh wait, didn't mean to do that. This person says, Callum Sim says, White Worm's outfit kind of looks like veins. Well, probably looks like worms. So does the cat's paw dagger belong to Viserys, or did he inherit it, do you think? Well, he could have inherited it. It could have been Aegon's dagger, right? That's more of a show thing. In the books, Joffrey, it's heavily assumed and implied that Joffrey was the one who sent the cat's paw assassin to kill Bran because of what he saw. And it's also implied that he may have stolen the knife from Robert. But then the rumor is that it's Tyrion's knife, and that, it's so convoluted, I don't even fucking know. But on this, maybe House of the Dragon can shed, finality on it. This dagger was given to Aegon 1 by his father, Daemon, and Aegon 1 gave it to Jaehaerys, and Jaehaerys gave it to Viserys because Viserys was next in line for the Iron Throne, and Maegor pushed it aside because it wasn't Blackfyre or some shit. I don't know. And then Aenys, being who he was, didn't want nothing to do with the swords, right? So it could come up with something like that. That's a really good question. I'm going to say that it was, if they want to do something for it special like that, it was Aegon's dagger, right? I thought that it was Dark Sister in the Game of Thrones universe. I made a video saying this cat's paw dagger is Dark Sister, right? Because Bloodraven took Dark Sister. That theory was so stupid. My theories were so dumb. I don't even remember how that theory could have made sense, because it doesn't make sense, just recalling it. Ranko Javerick. What's up, dude? Old ass Valyrian steel. Hey up. This is from Felipe Zanini, and he or she says, do you think the dragons will all have the same faces like Drogon and Viserion? No, they're going to look different, right? So we will see the ancestors of Daenerys' dragons, right? The running theory is that Daenerys' dragons were stolen, and they were used to buy I guess Alyssa Fairman, it's not confirmed, but the fact that she gives them to a merchant and then they later show up fossilized from another merchant to Daenerys, it's kind of yeah. But no. Vhagar, for instance, will need to be way hornier, right? This is the oldest dragon we've ever seen on screen, on camera, right? So Vhagar will have to be visually distinguished. Also, Caraxes will. Caraxes is red and mean and red, right? So you have to make the dragon's facial expressions match their personality, kind of. You know? So a dragon basically takes on the personality of their rider. Aemond is a cunt, so of course Vhagar becomes a cunt. Daemon is a cunt, so of course Caraxes is the embodiment of his rider, and Daemon is a ferocious fishes. Daemon is a ferocious warrior with a bit of an appetite for destruction. So, of course, Caraxes is going to be that same way, too. So we'll see scars on Caraxes. Maybe maybe Caraxes will be missing an eye, or maybe part of its cheek will be torn away, or maybe because Daemon uses Caraxes in the Stepstones, although it specifically mentioned that men would run from the shadow of Caraxes, and Daemon didn't have to use it too much in battle. It was more like a fear thing, right? Because Daemon uses that same plan and strategy when the Dance of the Dragons happens, but Caraxes, because they're red and terrible and mean, Caraxes will have to have like battle scars, which will make the faces look different, right? So, Dan and Dave probably didn't know this, but they subconsciously made Drogon, Viserion, and Rhaegar all look similar because they're from the same clutch of eggs, right? So, not every single fireworm, not every single wyvern look the same. So, those are the two creatures that were used by Valyrians to create dragons. So, of course, with their varying differences in colors, they're going to look different as well. Bro, I got so excited I nearly threw up, and that has never happened to me before. Sonny, I agree with you. I literally tripped running up the stairs, and I was like, I was going to do a live stream today anyway. I knew this was going to happen. I knew something. Like, no, I didn't know, right? Maybe I did. Yeah. Xavier Abernathy, watch every video, love the content. Man, love you too. Thank you, Xavier. That's fucking awesome. P Easy, what's up, bro? It's lit. Sorry, I don't mean to scream that loud. Manivana MSD, when we expect the trailer, bro? April 5th. April 5th. Mark my words. August 21st is the when it comes out, but April 5th, we'll either get another teaser or something. Some kind of trailer, because that's what George was saying. He gave us 9 frogs. When you do 9, it could either be 5-4. May the 4th is Star Wars. Doesn't make any sense for them to release any kind of thing related to Game of Thrones on that date. So, reverse that, and it's April 5th. That just so happens to be this next week. We just got some new promo photos. We got the official release date. Maybe we'll get an interview with one of the actors talking about something, and they'll pretend to let something slip. Who knows? I'm just checking my Twitter real quick. Speaking of which, make sure you go follow me at Sir_Hunts. As a matter of fact, let me do this for y'all. It's Sir_Hunts or at Dragon Daddy. Go follow me on there, please. I don't necessarily follow back, because, like, I do follow some people back. I'm not gonna lie. But it's just go follow me. That'd be cool. That'd be awesome. I'm hella excited for when they find the seeds on Dragonstone and get the new dragon riders. So the culling of the dragon seeds. Yeah, that's gonna be like season 3. It's kind of interesting what happens there, because that literally it replenishes Rhaenyra's dragons and dragon riders, but then it ultimately leads to her betrayal and downfall, right? So Wolf the White, Hugh the Hammer, right? I was about to say Adam Oakenfist, but Adam Valerian and Alan Oakenfist, right? Oakenfist doesn't ride a dragon, but I'm just saying, like, that starts the downfall. It starts one of the things that makes Rhaenyra ultimately lose. We'll say that. But I am excited too. That's just several years from now. I'm more excited about this first fucking season. I can't wait to see what these dragons are gonna look like. Like, it has been 3 years. No, longer than that. 4 years, because all the CGI they made for Game of Thrones Season 8 was made in 2018. That's how old it is. 5 years ago was the last... Okay, 4, whatever. 4 years ago was the last time we saw a CGI dragon. Technology has gotten better since then. These dragons are gonna look like your mom's cunt. I'm just... Oh, that was random. Yeah. These dragons are gonna look awesome. I'm excited for the dragons and the whole target. Hell yeah. The detail on Rhaenyra's outfits are insane. Hell yes, they are. What's this one right here? Like, look at it. It looks amazing. Amazing. I thought, like I said before, I thought that clasp right here, I thought this clasp was a combination of the Aaron Falcon and a dragon, but it doesn't look like that. I think I was just tinfoiling it up. Hers was the first one that I seen, so I was like, oh my god, we get a new image of Rhaenyra. I better make a video. And then it's like, oh shit, my feed is delayed. My Twitter feed is delayed. They actually released the release date. And then the teaser poster. And then character posters. Holy shit. It's like, oh man, today has been amazing. I had a bit of a rough start to my morning, but this is awesome. Grecia10 says, I'm here for spoilers, but I don't know the name of these characters, so I'm not understanding anything, but it's good because I still will have a genuine reaction. Okay, so you're saying you willingly are staying away from spoilers, right? So you're just kind of, you're willingly not knowing that much information so that way you can still go in somewhat blind, but I used to play that game. I would look up all the spoilers and all the leaked images for the next season of Game of Thrones. So I made videos here on YouTube for season 6, 7, and 8. And in between, that's how my channel got big. I was one of the only YouTubers making videos on the leaks because I didn't give a shit if it spoiled me for the show. I wanted the information now. But then in season 7 and then in season 8, I kind of, because they would take so long to film, I would trick myself into believing that, I'll forget everything about the leaks, even though I made videos on them. I'll forget everything about the leaks, and when I watch the show, it'll be fresh. Not the case. I knew pretty much everything that was going to happen in every episode, and the same thing's going to happen for this series, so it doesn't really bother me at all. This story has already been told. I know every single detail. I know every main character's fate. There's no surprises. That's not true. There are several surprises, and that's going to be written into the script from the writers. But yeah, woo! It's going to be awesome. What's up, Gamma Cap? Shout out Lord Crackhead. When do I think they will introduce Aegon 2? That's honestly who I thought we'd be getting on these next round of character posters. So this season must end with the younger version of Aegon and Aemon. Even though we've seen older versions, like we saw Aemon in the eye patch, we saw Aegon 2 practicing sword fighting with him. Matter of fact, let me show that image right now so that way y'all can see it. No, I'm not lying. Oh, wait, where is it? Here it is. Yeah. So that's Damon and the actor who's supposed to be playing the older version of Aemon One Eye. The reason why I brought this up was because this is like, if we see Aemon, the older version of Aemon One Eye, right? He's already mounted on Vhagar. He's already lost his eye. If we see him, we've got to see Aegon 2 because Aegon 2 is older. But here was the image that we had gotten of Aegon 2. I believe the guy on the right is supposed to be Aegon 2. I don't know these actors' names. Any of the projects they're kind of involved in aren't like movies or anything that I would watch. They're kind of for like the younger audience. So I don't really know these actors that well. But supposedly that guy right there, maybe his name's Ty Tennant. I don't know. Yeah. But these were from the leaks. Those were who were supposed to. Who we thought Aegon 2 and Aemon were going to be. Will Kill said, thank you for this live stream. I saw the post on Instagram 5 minutes after first promo, and I instantly knew I had to come check out Sir Hunt's channel. Thank you. That's fucking awesome. Kai's Messiah Baby said, nice looking photo I just got here. Nice. All right, so let me run through these real quick again. All right, so this is Daemon. I think Daemon looks the best because Daemon's my favorite character. Not just in this story, but almost in all of A Song of Ice and Fire. Almost. There's like 7 characters that are tied at number 1 for me. Oh, you want to hear who they are? Okay. Jon Snow. Damn it. I almost just broke my fucking thumbnail, bro. Jon Snow, Brienne, Arya, Daenerys, Jaime, Tyrion, and Cersei. All 7 of those are my number 1. And then Daemon is up there too, so that's 8. So we have this image of Daemon. He's holding Dark Sister, right? We see the very clip of it, but if you scroll back in this live stream after I'm done being live, you can see where I show the whole sword in its entirety from the leaked images. Then this next image we have is of Alicent, the older version of Alicent. She is played by Olivia Cook Smith, and she's queen to Daemon's brother, King Viserys. This is Viserys 1, not Daenerys' brother. I think that's going to be pretty funny for the average show watcher who doesn't know that. And they're like, whoa, so this is after? And he's older now? I don't know. Just thought about that. And then we have an image of Rhaenyra. Look at her. Rhaenyra triumphant. So pretty. The actor who plays Rhaenyra is played. Their name is Emma Darcy, and they are going to do an amazing job, I think, because they come from a stage background. And in my opinion, that means that you are used to having people watch you, and when people are watching you live, that means that you're forced to perform better. I guess that's the way of putting it. Ultimately, it's going to transfer well to screen. I believe so, anyway. And then the next image is of King Viserys, Rhaenyra's father. I think he's tied at number 2 for looking the most awesome, and that's because of his tunic and the surcoat. The surcoat has the dragon scales on it as well, but we see him with the cat's paw dagger, right? And then, if I'm not mistaken, I kind of just... something's coming back. I'm watching the... damn it, the time to make sure this doesn't peak into an hour, but it looks like we're 12 minutes past an hour anyway. But the dagger, the canon in the books is quite different. Like, it's one of Aegon's sister's wives, but for the TV show, it doesn't. They're gonna have to manipulate it, right? Because it's kind of. It'll be interesting to see. Well, let's just leave it up to see, like, where they're going to source this dagger in show canon, right? So that was the image of Viserys, and then we also got another image of, this was a character poster, rather, and I just thought I'd share this. I believe the character posters were made by Hero Mode, was the digital artist who made those, and if you'll look, the alternate version of this, is the black dragon in the back is green on the alternate version, and the egg is somewhat bronze, gold, green, right? But it does look very similar to this. This is fucking amazing. So for those of you who are unaware, August 21st is when House of the Dragon Season 1 will premiere. Please make sure you're subscribed. Please make sure you slap a like on this video. Please make sure you have your notifications turned all the way on. Content on this channel has been kicked into overdrive. I pretty much only discuss book stuff, but for TV shows, I'll try to do a Game of Thrones theory for the TV show, but mostly I'm just doing House of the Dragon. That's the one TV show that I'm going to be covering. Look at my channel art. Look at the past 2 years worth of videos. I've literally been doing nothing but Fire and Blood content, preparing for the show. I can't fucking wait. Oh yeah, there was a couple more images from the Twitter, and I'll run through those real quick, and then I'm going to get out of here. So this first one right here, this is Criston Cole, right? I think his armor looks awesome. It's kind of impossible to emulate white enamel scale plate armor on screen. So this is the show's version of that. They're kind of with like a white gold with silver inlays, and they've got some hardened boiled leather straps in there. This looks very kingly. Very, very kingly. Criston Cole is the most badass and well-rounded fighter during this time. Like, yes, Daemon is sick ass, but he's not as good as a fighter of Criston Cole, right? But he still looks cooler than him. And then next up we had my Zarya. She's known as Misery, the White Worm. She's one of Daemon's concubines. She later becomes the Mistress of Whispers to Rhaenyra when Rhaenyra triumphant takes over King's Landing for a bit. Rhaenyra... Specifically, my Zarya is the one who mentions to Rhaenyra that, and this is probably because she's jealous of Nettles, but basically Daemon has been taking Nettles into his bed every night at Harrenhal, Zarya warns Rhaenyra of this, and then Rhaenyra has people go and try and kill Nettles, right? So it's probably some of Zarya's jealousy, but ultimately, early on in the story, she has a child with Daemon and loses the child when forced to flee across the narrow sea. A storm hits the ship, and she loses the baby. And then the next one that we had, this is young Rhaenyra and young Alicent. This is, in my opinion, look at the contempt in Alicent's face, and look at the smugness in Rhaenyra's face, right? So the contempt from Alicent comes that I had male children with your father. Why are you, my stepdaughter, who on this show and in the show's canon is basically the same age as me, why are you not being put aside for my male children, right? That's what Alicent's face says. And Rhaenyra's face says, ha ha, you stupid bitch. I am the queen to be. I am the realm's delight. Everyone likes me. And my father said you can fuck off. Right? That's what this image says to me. And in my opinion, these two actresses, Millie Alcock and Emily Carey, are going to do amazing. And not only this series, but also in the Corlys the Sea Snake spinoff that they're supposedly working on. And then lastly, well, second to lastly, we have this image of Sir Otto Hightower looking like the poor man's Tywin. Although I will say that Rhys Ifans can grow a badass beard. I respect badass beards. And his costume looks pretty cool. So if you want a character comparison briefly, well, check out my videos. I've broken down every single one of these characters in great detail. But if you want, in specific, something for this dude, compare him to Tywin Lannister mixed in with a bit, with just a little bit of, I guess. No, you can't even say. I was going to say he's like a little bit like Ned because he kind of knows that ultimately a male heir in every single law in Westeros comes before a female claimant, regardless of age or anything like that, right? So that's kind of why he's pushing that. So I was going to say he's kind of like Ned, but ultimately not really. He plays Adam Sandler's older brother in Little Nicky. Thought that was hilarious. And then lastly, we have this image of Corlys and Rhaenys. And like I said, Corlys very much is channeling his inner Kanye in this picture. He looks a lot like Kanye West, just in this image right here. It's obviously because of the lighting of the picture, but that is Rhaenys, the queen who never was, right? She's the daughter of Balon. She gets skipped over multiple times, but she still does her duty, and she still stays loyal to her dying breath to the Black. She stays loyal to the princess party. So it's going to be amazing to see these characters on screen. I want to thank you all so much for watching. My name's Mark, and this is, well, let me jump in the chat real quick. I want to give a shout out to every single person watching right now, or every single person typing in the chat right now. Let me see. All right, so we got a shout out to Basket Case, Brian Thrasher, Deplorable Spartan, Commissai's Baby, Lexi Lambert, Marianne Segard, Sir Kristen Cole, and Sir Hunt. Oh, wait, that's me. And shout out to every single person who watched and typed during the chat, but their name didn't show up in the participants list. Thank you to every single person who has given me a super chat. That really helps because YouTube's ranking system is crazy right now, but that's besides the point. I'm putting out content to keep you all entertained throughout the wait for House of the Dragon Season 1, or as it's known on this channel, The Long Night. And that was a very mild long night because it is officially coming to an end, only to start up again in 10 weeks after we've seen all the episodes of House of the Dragon Season 1. So make sure you're subscribed. Go follow me on Twitter. It's Sir_Hunts. Go follow me on Instagram. It's Sir_Hunts_reviews. Thank you for watching. My name's Mark, and this has been Sir Hunts Reviews. Long night, Zaldrizas. Buzdat. Wait, let me check Twitter to make sure I didn't miss any new updates because they keep releasing stuff. Watch, the trailer was released and I've been live streaming this whole time. No, it wasn't. All right, cool. So I've gotten everything. All right, cool. So we covered all that stuff. And like I said, look forward to an actual video breakdown that will be, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes where I break down the images and all that good shit.